Greetings, this is Smo Love True. It is July 22nd, 2021, and it's 3:35 in the afternoon. I have prepared a video, but I would like to first preface this video and its information to those that we should all be very concerned about, and that is the children. Let us pray. 3 days after the new moon in Gemini, affecting my 11th house of networks, we honor all our relations and give gratitude directed by Source for delivering us to this moment in time and space. May our efforts further our original intentions and mutual agreements. We wonder if this new moon in Gemini, where Gemini is to learn about rational aspects of life through communicating with and learning from others. In my 11th house, which relates to matters relating to groups, community, and causes, will be allowed to flow smoothly and provide blessings so abundant that it might surprise and delight us being the collective. And now I'd like to read something that I found online from President John F. Kennedy. President John F. Kennedy delivers a Thanksgiving proclamation to the Americans. It is a prayer of gratitude. Let us therefore proclaim our gratitude to Providence. For manifold blessings, let us be humbly thankful for inherited ideas. Let us resolve to share those blessings and those ideals with our fellow human beings throughout the world. On this day, let us gather in sanctuaries dedicated to worship and in homes blessed by family affection to express our gratitude for the glorious gifts of God. And let us earnestly and humbly pray that He will continue to guide and sustain us in the great unfinished task of achieving peace, justice, and understanding among all men and nations, and of ending misery and suffering wherever it exists. President John F. Kennedy also recalled the first observances of Thanksgiving, when American forefathers set aside a time to give thanks to God. On the appointed day, they gave reverent thanks for their safety, for the health of their children, for the fertility of them, for the love which bound them together, and for the faith which united them with their God. Those are good words. I had spent all morning preparing this. I would also like to share the energy signature for today. Today is Thursday, July 22nd, Kin 220, Yellow Crystal Sun. I dedicate in order to enlighten, universalizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of free will. And today we happen to be This is the penultimate day to the 7 Wave Spell 17. I'll just see if I can share that. In particular, I was looking at this here. This is the Wave Spell 17, penultimate day. Today happens to be my oldest brother's energy signature. And today also happens to be my second oldest brother's birth date, July 22nd. Let's see if there are any constellations or alignments worth noting in the Old Farmer's Almanac. Let's see. Saint Mary Magdalene. The moon runs low, and tomorrow is the full buck moon, where there is a conjunction with Pluto and the moon. Today the moon happens to be an Ophiuchus. Today is the healer's day. And from my own notebook, let's see. Yesterday was what I would consider the last, for the month of July, the last of the Book of Life days. Yesterday was Revelations 19-21, and the rest were killed with the sword which proceeded from the mouth of him who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. Okay. Right, let us begin. So this is a little picture that I did a snippet of. This mileage sign along US 50 West provides the distance to the next 3 exits. Exit 18, Sacramento County, or Sunrise Boulevard, also known as. Exit 17, Zinfandel Drive, and I have that highlighted because that's actually the exit to get off here in Rancho Cordova. Rancho Cordova is the satellite city for Sacramento County. However, these days the governor happens to be reporting from Fair Oaks, from his residence. We'll be visiting that shortly in this video. Exit 15 is Mather Field Road. This photo was taken on August 2nd, 2011. And here to the left, we have the let's see, the element cycles. 5-pointed stars are used because that is to indicate the let's see, the destruction cycle. Let's see, where's my pen? The destruction cycle and the insulting cycle. And basically, you've got the 5 elements here. Water the wood to grow, and when the wood is ready, it can be burned into fire. From the ashes of fire, we have earth. And from the earth, metal can be ored. Yes. And over the metal, water can flow. And that is the creation or the generative cycle. Typically, when you go backwards, it is the overreacting cycle. It's actually weakening. Earth weakens fire. Fire burns wood and basically destroys it or consumes the wood. Wood can soak up water, and over water, too much water can dilute the metal. It needs to be formed somehow if you're going to use metal. Metal can weaken earth. Generating is this way, and weakening is clockwise, counterclockwise. In the center, when we come into the cycle, we're going to take a look at this with the numbers here. So Sacramento County is exit 18. 18 is can be reduced down to 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 is essentially a fire number. No, I'm sorry, it's a metal. 9 is metal. 50, which is the highway, is the earth number. So the earth generates what's happening in the earth from the perspective of the US 50 highway is it generates, supports what's happening in the metal, which is Sacramento County. Zinfandel, exit 17. 17, by the way, that I learned from Jonathan Kleck channel, it's inherently good. Now, when it's reduced to a single digit, 1 and 7 make 8. 8 is the number of wood, and wood controls the highway. I want to say wood controls earth, and it can only insult metal, because metal can chop the wood. And for exit 15, 1 and 5 make 6. So 6 is the number that is a water number. Water is controlled by earth. Water might also be considered currency. And so this is how the different elements are controlled, and it applies also to different processes and people as well. The other thing that water is, it's not only money, it's also sex. The Swiss stock exchange is Zex, and that's the number 6, but when they say Zex, it sounds like sex. 6 is also the 6th house, which is enemies and daily duties. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to go over with that. Let's come back here and go to the next one. Okay, yes. So US 50 is a highway that would be federally controlled or monetized. So the California Highway Patrol, let's see if I can make that bigger. We need to see this, that's why. Okay. So here I'm looking down here. The California Highway Patrol, or CHP as the trading name, is what is basically this entity. It's France, it's French in the jurisdiction. The company type is an entrepreneur individuel, and it was incorporated 21 years ago. Dissolution September 30th, 2005. To see the registered address, you'd need to log in, and I never do that. Monsieur Christophe Christophe, sorry, I'm not even going to butcher it, but Monsieur Christopher Helly, some kind of it's a foreign entity, couldn't go after it. But that happens to be the California Highway Patrol. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Highway Patrol. Okay, so Highway Patrol, actually let me just do it like this then, this will be good. You can see what's coming up there then. There. Okay, so the Highway Patrol, actually, there is a marked car and then there is an unmarked car on the governor's place in Fair Oaks. In Wikipedia, his birthday happens to be October 10th, 1967. So October 10th is an interesting verse in the book of Revelations. This is from the angel and the little scroll. So the biblical verse from the book of Revelations is 10-10. And let's see here. And I took the little scroll from the hand of the angel and ate it. It was sweet as honey in my mouth, but when I had eaten it, my stomach was made bitter. That's the biblical verse for Governor of California, and his energy signature happens to be Kin 90. 9 happens to be the sacrificial energy, the Jesus Christ energy for sacrifice. And 9 is also the number for massive endings. So the governor happens to be the white crystal dog. I dedicate in order to love, universalizing loyalty. I seal the process of heart with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of spirit. Also, in this case, the dark forces anything else here? One thing I did want to mention about this entity here is there appears to be some recognition between the California Highway Patrol and this next set of entities. This is AutoNation Holding Corp, based in Delaware, and then there are two branches, AutoNation Holding Corporation and AutoNation Incorporated, both in Florida. These three entities are the ones that happen to have trademarks. So there are many more than just these three, but I just wanted to identify the ones that happen to have trademarks. For instance, the one in Delaware has 53 more trademarks that it has been licensed, and the AutoNation Incorporated has 46. Is it 40? It looks like 46 or 48. We'll go with the low number. 46 more trademarks under this name. And what I have found is when it's a branch, it is made like it's a lesser entity not worth pursuing. But in actuality, to go over AutoNation Incorporated, you're going to be taking down all 46 of these entities that are attached to it. The best thing would be to go after the controlling company. So here we have a little clip.
Greetings, this is Mo Love True. It is April 25th, 2021, and it's 5:37 p.m. I thought I'd share this little finding that happens to be found very prevalent, perhaps across the country, most definitely here in Rancho Cordova. Let's see, this is actually a campaign partnership with AutoNation. It's the Drive Pink campaign to bring awareness to those with breast cancer. And I'll do a new share here. And this is what the license plate frame looks like. It has been an easy indicator, taking a look at when one is driving along and seeing this. This is a very pink, usually it's hot pink, but this pink it stands out, and it makes, it often goes with those vehicles that happen to have dark tinted windows. Let's see. So I wanted to take a look at...
So, when the Highway Patrol, the California Highway Patrol, happens to be driving along and they're on, let's say, U.S., any federal road, it's very easy to identify these vehicles because of the pink license plate frames. And from what I've gathered, when it's coupled with the dark tinted windows, they become, let's see, it gives the CHP the heads up, see nothing, no stopping. So we're going to take a look at a dark tinted window. This is actually My hostess here, 166, and here we've got dark tinted window. So let's take a look at this video. This was a victorious day for 166 because the Porsche SUV usually follows her around and she beat him home. Dark tinted windows, even through the front of the windshield. With all the video coverage that I have been recording, I have noticed that within the neighborhood, within the village here, neighbors will, not so much down here on, I can't say, north of Barden, let's see, north of Barden, this house with the windows facing down Corral. This is Corral here, and this is Arrington. On the north side of Barden, vehicles are transporting, or they're traveling back and forth on the other side and through the neighborhood as well. It's like, what's that about? They're just like a block away. Can't they just get out of their car, get some exercise, and walk over to their neighbors? Well, they're driving. Driving seems to be preferred over walking because something dark is happening. Let's take a look here. Oh, let's zoom out a bit. Okay. So here we have this entity. Beezer has 110 entities based in the UK. These are just the top 20. The next highest is here in Delaware. Delaware has 57 Beezer homes. I want to call it just Beezer. So they have changed previous names and now they're looking like Persimmon homes. And then other states, other jurisdictions in high numbers include Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Maryland, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah. So I'm bringing this up mainly because we're in one such home, and the problem with this home, I'm going to have my hostess explain that.
Okay. So is there a remedy to this backstabbed
receptacle situation? No.
Okay.
There's not.
There's no. Okay.
Well, just because the way that this house, well, first of all, you can't, cut the connection and then splice it and then redo it. just because the wiring itself, the other thing that I found out is, because you think that you could just cut the positive and the neutrals, right, and then just, wrap it around the screws and make just buy a new receptacle and do it that way. But actually, in fact, the way that this house is wired is that all of the neutrals are wired in series.
It's wired in a series as opposed to
parallel. Like all outlets are supposed to be parallel.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So the hot the positive is wired as parallel, so it's wired correctly. But then, and then the current is supposed to leave through the neutral. But the interesting thing is that the neutrals are wired in series, which is very interesting.
It compounds the problem if there happens to be a short circuit.
Absolutely, yes.
I realize that's when we use the power strip, and the power strip, because during that first week in March, there was an emitter coming out of the neighbor's car, and it short-circuited the power strip, which was plugged into the wall, into this particular outlet. And from there, I guess that created a problem for the whole house, because the whole house runs in a series on neutral, where none of the outlets are grounded. The only
and actually, in fact, in the electrical panel, the neutrals and the ground are connected together.
The neutrals and the ground are connected together.
Yeah, and we don't see where the ground actually enters into the earth. I've not found that. So it could be, what I'm seeing from the diagrams that I've bought, or the pamphlets, is that they actually ground to a water pipe, which wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't. Considering water actually amplifies this radiation. And you had found something that if the pipes are made of copper...
Right. There was an electrician on an online forum, and he said that, this is problematic. He had said that the only reason, or the only thing that he could see that was feasible, like why they would ground to a water pipe, is if it were made out of copper. But they're not made out of copper.
They're not. They're made out of this...
plastic?
It's high PC plastic. PVC plastic.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, you pointed that out, and it's only the joints that are made out of metal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that if only the joints are made out of metal material for piping, then that basically holds a charge, and the charge is then building up, and then it just gets amplified through the water. Now, I guess one of the other things that we had realized is you were having sleep paralysis, and at that time you were sleeping over the kitchen sink on the second floor. And the remedy to sleep paralysis would be to get off of that spot and find another location not on or in aligned with the water pipes. Okay, well, we're going to be back with...
So that was good information to realize that this is actually backstabbing is an industry standard. Not just here in the U.S., but those who regulate the electricity, they are the ones that give out the standards in terms of how electricians ought to be implementing the connections. I want to say the circuitry, the wiring for houses. And let's see, with Beezer being mainly a UK entity, here in the US, it's getting its orders from a Germanic tribe. And the UK is not... It's being controlled by something further away. I will say, knowingly, that in Zurich, the first flight to arrive comes from Hong Kong, and it arrives every weekday, every day at 6:02 in the morning. The second flight to arrive into Zurich, Switzerland, is from Johannesburg, South Africa. Now, this is the essential problem that I've been facing with lately is my teeth. Now, the thing with the teeth, very interestingly, or I didn't know this until I had, I think it was a dentist, dental hygienist. She had told me that the teeth are connected to meridians in the body. And ever since I arrived here, I've been getting hit in the front of my teeth. And let's see here. I'm going to open this up just to take a peek here. Okay. So we can make it bigger. Let's see. So right side, left side. Basically, when you're looking at this, you're seeing your teeth in a mirror. Okay, so these are the two front teeth that are getting hit. It is controlled by the water element. Earth controls the water. I had also been getting hit. Let's see. What is it about the, oh, it's actually the right side here. Ah, yeah. Okay, I've been getting hit on this 16, 11, and 21. Let's make it bigger here so we can see. So, teeth and acupressure points. Oral cavity. Okay, so what is being affected by these particular teeth that I'm getting hit at? There is a muscle relaxant, a prescribed muscle relaxant that is used. I think it was like at Comet Pizza Comic. Anyway, in this house, I want to say in this kind of configuration of smart homes, it's not necessary to use, medication for muscle relaxants. Here you just have to turn on a certain frequency, and when you hit a certain frequency, you can trigger relaxants in the kidneys, the bladders, the genitals, and the anus, just by hitting the two front teeth, which is connected to the pineal glands. Just hitting the top front teeth will cause the muscles to relax for the anus, the rectum, bladder, cause bladder issues. What I have also been experiencing issues with is 16. My thyroid is being impacted. That's where I don't feel like I'm getting enough iodine to stay. I don't have sufficient iodine to keep my thyroid healthy. That's why my voice has been strained the way it has been. So this is highly problematic in smart homes. Okay. I'm going to use this as a thumbnail cover. Now this is really what we are finding, and yesterday I had actually taken a nap. I was doing some work downstairs, and I had, let's see, they were doing yard work. Yesterday morning, before 8 o'clock, children were being moved, and it was lunchtime. Lunchtime is when the yard work started to happen. They only work in front of certain houses, and so the yard work is happening on Wednesdays. We know when school was in session prior to COVID, Wednesdays were always a short day, and just school-wide, public school-wide, parochial school, private schools, very problematic. Catechism would often happen on Saturdays for young children. And Saturdays is another day that the yard work here in Beezer happens to be going on. They only stay in front of certain houses. On Saturdays prior to my arrival, the neighbor to the east, he has a contact who had parked his car in front, and I had identified his contact as Fly Navy. And they had moved out last week, very recently. So he packed up and they left with a U-Haul. Prior to that, he actually packed up a whole bunch of stuff in a big pickup truck. And now the house is for sale. So it looks like they're liquidating. Everybody gets a cut. Pretty sure of that. With that neighbor to the east, he was only doing the driveway, and as it can be most noted, you can't really walk side by side on these sidewalks. This is a tiny yard. Small plots where you basically live in the house. I happen to be hypersensitive to a lot of extraneous noises. A big part of that is because I am basically breaking down, and so I pick things up a lot sooner than the others. One thing that might also be noted related to this issue, and it's worth noting, is that the Mars healer, 166 and Ben's mom happen to, she has some toilet issues, and it's related to her also being not only older, but this is a problem that is being induced, not just on everybody living in this housing situation. The backstabbed electrical sockets, it just holds all the radiation, and it sends a frequency, which on Tuesday I did hear an unusual combination, series, sequence, and it was ongoing. And just to realize that they were doing that, the dark forces were doing this, putting through this frequency because of the activities that happen on Wednesday and Saturday. I had a look at this young man here, and so I'm going to have to zoom. I can't really make that much bigger. Okay. This is John David Ghosh. November 11th, 1969. He is from Des Moines, Iowa. The default, because I don't have the time of his birth, just automatically sets the sun sign as the rising sign. That his moon happens to be at the galactic center or destiny of Ophiuchus, makes him significant because he has access to the future. If this were his true time of birth, being born at 12 p.m., his north node is here on the cusp of the 5th house, which represents children, and the 4th house, which is the motherland. His future is to work in these two areas of children, to enable healing for children, and to do it here in North America. This is where his future would be.
Hi, this is Snow Love True. It's the 22nd of August 2019, and it's 5:55. Check out your local targeted individuals, family and friends, and find out what's in their focus if it happens to be the moon. Step up, take action, and host them. It's really important to keep them safe and out of harm's way because, again, these secret societies have been keeping everybody under control just by targeting these certain individuals. And the moon being the closest satellite to where we happen to be, it is to look at those individuals who are probably targeted and to lend a hand. Okay? So love.
So I wanted to share that because, in a nutshell, all the targeting that's happening, that's all the secret societies have to do, is go after the healers. I saw something interesting, something that was worth sharing. And it goes, let's see if I can get rid of some of these pictures here. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Let's make it bigger. Okay, this is a screenshot. Sorry, it's too tiny to see. Okay, looks like I'll just have to read that there. So this goes back to some little hints that I saw from those who happen to be on the channel, monitor the channel, and see what's up. So here's a comment. What do you think took place between that guy in white and the guy in blue? His behavior after the interaction was bizarre, to say the least. Added oomph. WTF is this? Stray dog. No more entries, please. We have a winner. The most boring video ever posted on BitChute. Chatty Factory. Get some help, maniac. Chatty Factory. WTF. This is WTF. Is this retarded shit? With 1 like each. So the 2 clues that I saw here is retarded and the other clue that I saw is added oomph. But when I saw, let's see if I can make that bigger because you have to see these things. Added oomph is interesting to take a look at because when I looked at this, I saw dump. Dump. Let's restart down. So, what do you guys do with the bodies? That's what, when I had that conversation, or just a real quick check-in, you know, being with other healers, a lot of information comes in, so much so that it's necessary to speak with initials because we don't need to hear all of it. And when my hostess, when 166 had mentioned P and all the noise, then it clicked for me. I have a lot of work to do, and I thought I had done most of it, but now we're in the final days here of this year. And what came to me was the pedophilia. And the information that I had received about 2 or 3 weeks ago is that it was going to come out in a month or 2. And that was when Rivka Ministries had done like a 3-hour plus video a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link in the video description. And going through that, that was what had propelled me to finish that document, the 441 document, in as soon as possible. And so I did the best I could do, and that's where I still have a lot more work to do. But in these final days, I just wanted to thank all our relations, and we just ask for everybody to please send healing prayers, send healing frequencies only to the healers, and remember those children. They might be in your family, they might be on the periphery, but children do need to be protected. I had gotten sleepy, and I took a nap yesterday, and I processed so much. And that's where today's work, it's all about bringing out this awareness for the children. We honor all our relations. Please guide our thoughts, our words, and our actions to align with our original intentions and mutual agreements. We asked all our relations to please show us hints and give us clues for what we need to focus on. We are here to be of service. To the henchmen, we've got this message for you.
Regarding custom thumbnail, this is a message to the secret Zozo MD Society operating from Pugman, Connecticut.
Rancho
How to climb
Cordova.
out of consensual dark hole. Simple guide for accomplices holding down the fort for lost battle. And cause. Battle, war, and cause. Roman numeral 1. Cease and desist all surveillance activity. Roman numeral 2. Cancel and delete all orders to trespass and interfere with targeted subjects. Roman numeral 3. Uninstall all weaponized vehicles. Roman numeral 4. Conscientiously dispose of all handheld devices. Roman numeral 5. When subject enters space, immediately abandon premises. Roman numeral 6. Avoid re-entering any and all crime scenes. Roman numeral 7. Do no harm. Roman numeral 8. Damage no property, real or movable. Roman numeral 9. Disobey orders for unlawful activities. They are AI programs on autopilot. Roman numeral 10. Ignore further engagement with controllers, order givers. Roman numeral 11. Return each and every compensation back to source. Roman numeral 12. Cancel all contracts with the dark forces. When approaching me, ask for permission and about how to cancel contracts. Otherwise, see 5 from above. Accepting all liability under full immunity without recourse.
Small Love True, out for now.